Today I'm going to show you how we replaced the alternator in an old F250 farm truck. This farm truck left me stranded several times, and I kept jumping it thinking the alternator was okay but the battery was weak. After charging the battery, and it was a new battery, I figured out that from watching the voltage meter I was getting a weak charge to my battery. And that weak charge also translated to a bad alternator that could drain your battery while it's parked. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull the old alternator out of the truck, replace it with a new alternator. It's only about an $80 repair, and you can use tools, just your 9/16 wrench. I'm going to use a crowbar to pop it on out of there, and you know, the new alternators come with a wiring harness, so we need some wire cutting tools, but it's fairly simple. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, show you some of my mistakes, and we'll get this thing fixed. So this is our F250. I'm looking at the voltage gauge here. And if I turn the AC on, see how that dropped down a little bit. And I hit my headlights. Drops down some more. Which tells me I think I've got a weak alternator. And I'm not 100% sure about that, but an alternator in these is only about 76 bucks, so we're going to start off with trying to replace this alternator and see if that'll fix my problem. First thing I'm going to do, since I'm messing with the alternator, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disconnect the battery. It's already loosened up a little bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull the battery out because it'll give me a little more working room, place to set my tools. Now the alternator pretty much just has two bolts holding it in. So I'm going to take a 9/16 wrench and kind of leverage it. Way to pop that did not work. Do not make these easy to get to, that's for sure. Yeah, kind of switch this up on you, move the truck to the shade. Got a breaker bar because these bolts are kind of a booger. Let's go ahead and loosen these bad boys up. That one's already kind of loose. Got one down here. Loosens up. Now, all of these ratchet sizes are 9/16. Okay, so we got the bottom screw out, which is basically a long screw. Goes through the alternator on the underside here. This is the new alternator. So we're going to set this one aside. This is still very hot, so it's hard to deal with. So I'm just going to kind of let it cool off for a few minutes, and then we'll work on pulling this thing out of here. So I was waiting for this engine to cool down so I can pull that alternator out of there. Started looking through these little pieces of paper that come with the new alternator. Turns out that they're some sort of instructions, which I wouldn't know, I never look at instructions. It says here that you have to replace the battery harness wire when you replace the alternator, or it can lead to meltdown of the harness or even a fire in the vehicle. So what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for this to cool off, so I'm going to go ahead and clip this off. I don't have welding equipment with me, but I can at least put the wires together, melt them together, and hopefully they'll stay together. And I'll go ahead and do this wire harness while I'm waiting for it to get a little cooler under the hood. So what I'm going to do here is take this old harness, Wires feel pretty solid below this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut them here. Get that bad boy off. Okay. Now I don't have much room to work here. I don't need a whole lot. Doesn't give me a whole lot of guidance on this. Alright. I don't have a heat gun or a blow dryer to shrink these insulators, so instead what I'm going to use is a lighter. Carefully shrink that on. All sides. That should do it. Got our new plug. So getting this alternator out is proving to be a little troublesome. So I'm going to try a method that's a little unorthodox. I'm going to stick a crowbar up in there and just try and give myself a little leverage to pop that bad boy out of there. Got it loose. Crowbar does the trick. Okay. Now, I've got this thing ready to come out. It's a very tight fit. Get this thing out of here. Might need that. Okay, there she is, the old alternator. It's pretty old. They say to check the part numbers before you put the new one in. It says 23, this one says 61. Well, I don't see any numbers that look the same, but cares. Alright, so now to put in the new alternator. There's probably an easier way to do this, but for me to do something the easy way would be too easy. Okay, so I need to scoot this out a little bit. Everything under this hood is wicked hot. It's been off for a while. Makes me wonder if I'm overheating the car. If
I'm just stupid for working on it so quickly. Okay. Okay, so I've got that lower bolt in, but it's still loose, so I can maneuver this thing around. We go ahead and strap this bolt on. I'm not going to tighten it yet though, I'm just going to get it in place. I'm not going to tighten this all the way down either, I'm just going to leave it loose. The next step is putting the belt back on, which kind of let just drop in here earlier. This is the belt, slide it back over. Now, push up for my tension on the belt, tighten the bolt down. Okay, now the last thing I need to do here is plug this back in. My wire harness is all a little screwy now because I've got everything in different places than it was. Okay. Let's put the battery back in, start her up, see how she does. Leftover parts are a perfectly good sign. Don't mean anything. If you didn't need them when you put your part in, probably didn't need it there in the first place. Appears to be missing hose right there. Again, no need to worry. If it's not there now, it ran before, don't worry about it. Okay. So, red, black. Now these should be tightened down. It's a half. So weird. Some things are metric, some things aren't. It's the beauty of cars.